Where you been? Where you been? Well, here I am. I'm back. OC Show. Another episode coming at you right now. I got a great one for you. Want to go through a couple of things, but first things first. First things first. Follow me on TikTok at DarthSim9. TikTok, DarthSim9. The way I need to build this show is through other social media platforms, and I need to get my subscribers and my followers up on TikTok. And same thing, DarthSim9, a little bit different on the Instagram. DarthSim9, all spelled out on TikTok. DarthSim9 with the number on Instagram. Follow me, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channels as well. We got to get into a lot of things because a lot of people have been asking me my thoughts on so many things that have gone on in sports. So it's going to be a football centered show today. Let's start off with college. I got two main things I got to get to in the world of college football. First things first, people ask me, Donnie, what do you think about this? There he is! That's what I think about it. Again, Ohio State goes down to Michigan. Is what it is, Ohio State fans. It is what it is. We're not that good. We've got no offense. We've got no passing game, but yet you guys can't beat us. Ryan Day can't beat us. It doesn't matter what happens going forward. If you guys win the national championship, I don't care. We beat you guys and you can't beat us. It is what it is at this point when it comes to Ohio State and Michigan. It looks like we own you. It looks like we own you. And what are you going to do about it? You got to wait another whole year, and it's going to be at the big house, and we're going to be improved. We'll see what happens. Until then, four in a row. Four in a row. My next thing on college football, I'm not going to bash and I'm not going to kick Ohio State fans down. They're in the playoff, and they're going to get behind me on this next thing. They're going to kind of get behind me on this, I believe, most Ohio State fans on this next thought that I'm going to bring up here. College football playoff. First year, they're doing a 12-team college football playoff. And the first four games came with a ton of criticism, a ton of criticism. I You can't argue the fact that these games were, for the most part, bad games. And what most of us as college football fans are looking for are games. We want to get rid of bad bowl games, but we just had four bad bowl games. But I got a different thought on this whole thing, a totally different thought. For years, I've thought this as a college football fan, and as a college football fan from the North. Obviously, I'm a Michigan fan. But the thing that has bothered me for years is that when you have these bowl games, where are most of the good bowl games? Florida, Texas, Arizona, Georgia. That's where the good football games are. The good bowl games. And for years, us football fans in the North have said, "What if they came up and played in our elements?" Guess what happened in the college football playoff? Well, besides the Texas Clemson game, Texas beat Clemson in the first round 38-24, snoozer of a game. But then we had some more games that are kind of marry to my point here. Ohio State clobbered Tennessee 42-17. You got an SEC team playing a Big Ten team. Now all the SEC fans for years, and to you guys' credit, you guys are, for the most part, a better conference. Not by as much as you think, but the SEC is a class of college football. We can't argue that. However, what would happen if a decent SEC team came to play a decent Big Ten team and it was in the elements? Kind of what happened here at Ohio State. Tennessee brought a lot of fans up to Ohio State, and shame on you, Buckeye fan, for letting Tennessee almost take over your stadium. But I get it, you're still kind of bent because of what happened to you your last home game. That said, Ohio State took care of business because Tennessee couldn't handle those elements. For years, we've been wanting this. We've been wanting a team to come up. Now, Tennessee, you're going to get cold weather and things like that, but you're not getting it as cold as it is in Ohio State and Columbus. That isn't even the best example of what I'm trying to get at here, because then you have, well, Indiana, Notre Dame, both are cold climate teams, so that kind of washes each other out. Notre Dame took care of Indiana 27-17 in the first round. But you got Penn State against SMU, Southern Methodist University. Southern, emphasis on Southern down in Texas. They couldn't handle that weather in Penn State. They couldn't do it. They just couldn't handle it. 38-10 tells you right then and there. And so the good thing about this college football playoff, and especially this first round, is that we're going to get to see from time to time those teams from the South have to come up and play in these elements. It's not that easy. And for years, these bowl games have been, the good bowl games have been down south in Florida and Texas, and it's almost a home game for these Southern schools. Props to the Big Ten. Props to schools like Ohio State. Props to schools like Michigan, Michigan State, Penn State that travel well. But the advantage typically goes to those Southern teams. With this college football playoff, at least 4 games will have a chance for that Northern team or that team out west to have an advantage. Just my thought. Next, NFL. Now, a lot of you, you can see who I rep. It's not hard for me, especially living in Suffolk, Virginia. I live in Suffolk, Virginia, here in Virginia. And let me tell you a little bit about Hampton Roads area, Suffolk, Virginia. It's a military town. There are a lot of different people from a lot of different places. And you don't have to look very hard when I'm walking around town. If I'm taking my daughter to one of her games, if we're out at the store somewhere, you don't have to look very hard to know where I'm from. I'm always wearing something Detroit, whether it be Lions, whether it be Pistons, whether it be Red Wings, whether it be Tigers, whether it be Michigan. I'm always repping Detroit. I'm always repping Michigan pretty much everywhere I go. And so when I see other people who are Detroit fans or Michigan fans, if you see a Michigan fan, always say go blue, and they give me a go blue back. You see, and now since the Lions are actually good, you see a lot of Lions fans down here. It's like, hey man, go Lions, and you see a lot of people repping the Lions, and you see people repping like the Bears or wherever. You see all sorts here in this area because it's a big military area. So you got people from everywhere. Now, people who are from this area, the Virginia area, typically when we're going to stick with football, you're either a Commanders fan or you're a Cowboys fan. Commanders are the closest NFL team. Then you probably have Baltimore was a little bit closer. Now you don't see too many Baltimore fans. You either see Commanders or Cowboys. And since the Cowboys are irrelevant this season, there are a lot of Commanders fans out there right now. Story about how I ran into a Commanders fan the other day. Now, I have one of my Detroit Lions jackets on, and this fan comes up to me, or we're in line somewhere, and he says, "Oh man, you must just got that for Christmas." This happened a couple of days ago. You must have just got that for Christmas. And I was like, "Yeah, I got it for Christmas like 2 years ago." He goes, "Oh, it's still looking fresh, looking clean." So I took that as a compliment. So thanks, bro. So he goes, "Yeah, you guys are doing pretty good this year." I say, "Yep, yeah, we're doing pretty good." And he goes, "But y'all gonna lose to my team." And I'm like, "Oh man," he didn't have anything repping the Commanders or whose team was, and he said, "Well, who's your team?" And he said the Commanders. And I'm going to stop this story right there to explain something to you guys right now. Listen to Uncle Donnie here. This is the Uncle Donnie segment of the show. Kids, if you don't know what you're talking about, don't act like you do. Don't lie. Don't just throw things out there, because if you happen to throw the wrong facts out there, you're going to look foolish like this guy that I met. That's your Uncle Donnie side note. Back to my story. So he said he's a Commanders fan, and he said that, oh, yeah, man, if we meet you guys in the playoffs, you guys are in trouble. And I said, oh, well, I hope we meet you guys in the playoffs, because that means that you guys won, and I like the matchup against you. Not trying to talk too much trash, but a little bit of, friendly banter. And again, let me make this very clear. This guy was a fan. He wasn't being nasty. He wasn't being a jerk. He was just so dumb and uninformed. He didn't know what he was talking about, because it's going to get worse as it goes on. So he's like, oh, no, yeah, we match up way better against you guys and we'll win. Maybe they would beat us. Oh, we're a better team than you guys. Well, the last time I looked, our record is about 3 games better than you guys. I digress. You guys have an easier schedule than we do. He's like, no, we're a good team. And then this is what really got him way off of the land of credibility. He said to me, yeah, you guys, the only reason you guys' record is so good is because your division is trash. And so I respectfully asked him, do you mean historically or this season? He goes, this season, you guys got a trash division. Judging by the records, I don't think that our division is trash. He goes, oh, no, the NFC East is way better division this season. We've got 3 playoff teams. Nobody. You've got 2 playoff teams, and NFC North has 3 playoff teams. He goes, no. And then he pulls his phone out, and he looks it up. And he says, well, our division's still better. Our division's still better. And I said, how? We've got 2 teams with just only 2 losses, and another one, I believe, with only 4 losses. Then we have Chicago, who's terrible. But then you guys have Philadelphia, who's great, 3 losses. And you guys, the Commanders, I think they got 4 or 5 losses. And then you have Dallas, who's trash, and you have the Giants, who are absolute trash. No, historically, I said we weren't talking about history. If we're talking about history, maybe we're having a different conversation. But you're talking about right now. So how is your division better than ours? Our division is the toughest in football, the best in football. No, because you guys haven't played anybody. He goes, you guys, all the wins you guys have are against sub 500 teams. Then he proceeds to look at our wins. And we have a win against Minnesota. That's 1. 2 against Green Bay. That's 3. Then we have Seattle above 500. Then we have just me counting off the top of my head. I don't have my notes in front of me. Forgive me. Oh, we have Houston above 500. Then we have that's just 5 of our wins that are above 500. And there's a couple others that are above 500 as well. And he just had no credibility. Again, the definition of a fan is they're a fanatic. And he's going to root for his team no matter what. And I get that. But as fans, let's be smart. Detroit fans, let's be smart. Let's be realistic. We still have some work to do to get the number 1 seed. Will we get the number 1 seed? I'm not sure. I hope we do. We got to hope that Green Bay takes care of business against Minnesota. And then we got to beat San Francisco. But we got to take care of our business. If we just win out, we win the division. And we get that first round bye. But Detroit fans especially, and I'm talking to my Detroit fans especially, don't be like this guy who's just totally uninformed. Oh, my Commanders will beat you guys. Maybe they would. They could come into Ford Field and beat us. They could. Not likely. Not this season. Because we have a better team. He goes, oh, you guys are not even the best team in your division. Well, maybe not. But we're better than your team this season. And the facts prove it out. Let's see it out in the field. Oh, if we came to Ford Field, I ain't worried about y'all. We beat y'all in Ford Field before. We beat you guys in the playoffs before in Ford Field. Okay, first of all, you guys never played us in Ford Field in the playoffs. I had to tell him that. He goes, oh, way back when we went to the Super Bowl. Yeah, that was back in 91. I was in junior high school. And I go, bro, respectfully, NFC North is better than NFC East this season. The Lions are better than the Commanders as it stands right now. If they meet in the playoffs and prove us differently, if I ever meet up with you again, I'll admit it. Because at this time, our conversation was coming to a wrap because we were getting ready to finish whatever we were doing. Again, the guy was not a mean guy or a nasty guy. He was just dumb and way uninformed. Being a fan is fun, and it's filled with a lot of emotional things that we talk about because we're passionate about our teams. But let me tell you, sports fans, and take it from me, know what you're talking about. It's nothing worse than a sports fan that don't know what they're talking about. Again, follow me on TikTok, Darsim9, Instagram, Darsim9. I'm coming back with another show sooner than later. I promise you. Peace.